Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you, madam. So let's start our discussion. Today we'll discuss process utilities and some security utilities. Now, if you see some of these process utilities, they are all part of PS tools. You can also run them as independent commands. So let's this command ps get SID. So first, as usual, we navigate to the folders. So you can see here that it has displayed the SID for this machine. So this is the name of the machine. That is desktop 2 LH4 IH2. So similarly, if you want to display the SID for the machine, you just need to run the command ps get SID. You can also log into remote computer and get its details. So for that you need to use -u and -p switch. So -u is for username and -p is for specifying a password. So you also need to specify the name of the computer, because you might have seen in the output here it is displaying the name of the computer here. So when you don't specify anything, it will display the details for the current system. Next is ps kill command. So with ps kill command you can terminate any process with force. So let me say, for example, ps list. Now you can see here that I am getting the ps list. That's nothing but the process list. So let me select one process from this list and terminate it. I'll try to terminate Cortana, whose process ID is 2812. So now you can see that it has displayed the message process 2812 killed. Now again let me check the PS list. Okay. So you can see here in this list now Cortana is not appearing. So that means we have terminated that particular process. Again, this is a command line way of terminating a process, but we know that there are other alternative ways. So one of the most common way is to type Control Alt Del and go to Task Manager and select any process which you don't want and just right click on it and click End Task. So I'll say that I'll terminate the WhatsApp process. So you can see here there's End Task. So I have terminated it. So there are again more ways, more sophisticated tools are available. So all these process monitor tools, they provide this facility where you can terminate the process manually. The next is PS service. Let's type PS service command. So you can see here it is displaying the service names, service name, display name, type, then state that it is running. There are other states also, that is stoppable, plausible, possible, accept, shutdown. So it basically displays the list of all configured services. Now you can see the configured services on a present computer or on a remote computer. That is on a local computer or a remote computer. Since we have not connected to the network, we cannot see the processes or the process or configured services on the remote computer. But if you want to see the configured services list, then again you should follow this command syntax. That is the name of the command, the name of the computer, then username and password associated with the command, associated with the computer. Then you should specify the command and the options. So you can see here that there are lots of parameters. You can specify those parameters. You can start a particular service, you can stop a particular service, you can restart a service, you can pause a service. And if you type query, then it will just display the status of the service. I think we will not get any different output because it is just displaying the status of the service. It's the same. Then after this, there is a command called as PS suspend. So you can use PS suspend just to temporarily stop the process. So you are not completely terminating the process, instead you are just stopping a particular service for some time. So after that you can again resume it. let's do that. Yes. For that again, let's first execute ps list command. Again we are getting the list. So let's pick some process here. Say for example, I'll check this one. WhatsApp. Whose process ID is 1900. Say ps suspend 1900. So now you can see that it says that process 1900 is suspended. Now again, let's execute. Now you can see here that since we have not killed that service, it is still appearing here. But it's not working. So to resume it, we have to say ps suspend -r and the process ID. So process ID is 1900. So now you can see here that process 1900 is resumed. So now also it's appearing. So ps suspend command is very useful whenever you feel that some processes are consuming lot of memory, lot of computer resources. So in that case you can suspend that particular process for some time. So in that way the allocated resources for that particular process will be freed and other processes can start using them. So in this way again you can improve the speed of your system. So again, with ps suspend command you can log into any remote computer with the credentials and start or stop. Basically you can suspend or resume a particular service or a process. The next is shell run as. So shell run as is a interesting command. Now with GUI also you can execute this command. So you can see that it is displaying the usage. So we'll have to specify one of these, that is /res/resnet only. In quiet mode you can unregister or you can run it for only remote access. Then you have to specify the program, and if the program needs credentials you also need to specify the credentials.
అక్కడే వచ్చాడు ఈ పిల్లలు రెండు రాల నువ్వు అంటే రాకపోవడం ఏం కారణం అర్థం కాదు.
Then it will not display the result dialog box.
Only power.
You know you can say that, see here that it displays shell run as context menu handler successfully registered. Maybe we can try to execute some command also here, some program also here. now there is one more alternative to run as. So let's go to the downloads folder. You might have seen this option. Say for example this sysmon, when I right click on it, it's going to show me some options. Now when I click on open, it's going to run as a normal user. So it may be administrator, it may not be administrator. Basically through this logged in account it will run. So now there is another option called as run as administrator. So some commands you need that they need administrative accesses. So in that case you can select this option. So note here that it just ran, but it is not displaying any output. Maybe if you click on open, this time it may execute. Okay, so again it is not displaying the output for sysmon. Okay, that's fine. So basically you can use run as command or run as utility whenever you want to provide or whenever your application needs administrative privileges. So in that case you can go for run as. But generally you will find these two options, but sometimes or many times you also see that you can run as a different user. Let's say for example, I have also started Windows XP here. So let me check. Now you can see here I am not seeing run as administrator option. Instead it is just run as. Now you can see here either I can run as current user or run as the following user. So from this you can select the list of, from this list you can select the username. Provide the password and it will run. Command is VM map. So don't confuse when we say VM, it's not virtual machine, it is virtual memory. So it's basically the virtual memory and physical memory analysis utility. So let's type the command here, VM map. Now you can see here it is showing the name of the processes in this window. You can select any of the processes and click OK. Then it will show virtual and physical memory maps. So let me select for MS Edge browser. I'll say OK. So now you can see here, it is displaying a lot of information here. So it is displaying how much memory is committed, what are the private bytes, what are the working set. What is the total memory, what is the free memory. So if you click on these things, it will filter the result. This is the result of managed heap. This is the result of map files. So click on address here plus. can see here it is displaying more details. So now if I don't select anything here, if I just select total, it will consider everything. So it is also showing, you can see a total working set, private working set, shareable working set. What are the number of blocks and which one is the largest. Now you can click on trace snapshot interval. I'll say 1 second. So these values will change when you start interacting with the program. So you can see here, I think it is adding few rows. Okay. Now there is something called as fragmentation view. So you can say fragmentation analysis is available only for 32-bit processes. So you may have to select 32-bit process. So again, you can run this utility as an administrator. Let's see what happens when we run it as an administrator. But now this time we'll select a different utility. This time we'll select it. cmd.exe. Okay, so again you can see the similar information. So for each process you can see all this data. Okay, you can see here what is the free memory, what is the heap memory, what is the image memory, what is the managed heap memory, how much is the page table, what is the private data, how much is shareable, and how much is unusable. So you can see all this information. Now whatever information you are seeing here, it's just for one process. Now you can copy all this information, you can save it. So it is saving it as .mmp. So let me save it on desktop. Now let's try to open the file and see what's the content in mmp file. So you can open it in VMMap process memory analyzer. Okay, so directly you can open here. Let me try to open it in Notepad and see its content. Okay, so now you can see here that it is displaying the content in XML format. To see the content properly, let me open it in some other editor. Maybe I'll try to open it in VS Code.
ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నాడు PS4.
Yeah, you can see here. Now it is more readable. Okay, so now it is in XML format. Since it is in XML format, you can write a code to process this information. And analyze the information, because now you get all this information in a structured format.
ఇంకెట్ కావాలా? ఇంకెట్ కావాలా?
So there you can also change the extension from MMP to XML, so that you can start accessing the content in a much better way in the program. So next we'll go to security utilities. We have seen several of them already: access check, access enum, auto logon, logon sessions, process explorer, and so on. So let's see few more commands which we have not seen earlier. For example, logon sessions. Let me close this window. So it says that make sure that you are administrator from administrator command prompt. Let me try to run this as an administrator. Okay, so now I'll say logon sessions here. Okay, so now you can see here I am running the same command but from the administrator login.
Yeah.
Now you can see these are the logon sessions on this particular machine. Now note here that every session has got a session ID, which is basically a unique session ID. Now it also displays the username and the workgroup to which that particular user belongs. So it is also displaying SID and it is also displaying logon time. If there is a logon server and DNS domain, it will display that also. So let's see the output of other sessions here. Now you can see that second one is not having any username. Third one is NT Authority Local Service. The next we have font driver. Now you can see that for most of these things it is showing this time, logon time, that is 5:52, 39 p.m. That is 5 hours 52 minutes and 39 seconds. So this was the time when I had restarted my system. Okay, so with logon sessions you can see which are the sessions which are logged on this particular machine, but for that you need administrative access. We have already seen auto logon. So with auto logon, basically you can disable or enable the username and password. So if you don't want to log into system with username and password, then you just need to disable it. The next is PS logged on. So let's run PS logged on here. So you can see that it is showing users logged on locally. So it is also showing the machine name, time and the username. It also says that no one is logged on via resource shares.
What's your name?
Now let's execute the same command with administrative privileges and see whether we are going to get the same output or different output.
Same output or different output?
Yeah, so we are getting the same output. So next command is ps log list.
PS log list.
Okay, so it is displaying the information for each of the processes and also the event logs. And here it is displaying what type of information it is. So now it is saying that it is information. Let's scroll up and see, is there anything different? Now we can also see here that it is displaying the information about Windows kernel, processor power.
Windows kernel.
Processor power.
So what is the nominal frequency in megahertz? What is the performance percentage? What is the minimum performance percentage?
Minimum
What is the total percentage?
Percentage.
And so on. So basically you can see here that it is displaying more detailed information. Now it is also displaying here for LSA SRV. So now it is a warning type of a message. Okay, so it says that LSA package is not signed as expected. This can cause unexpected behavior with credential guard.
Package is not signed.
and the package name is MSP1
MSP1.
0.
Is not
So to solve this problem, you can sign the
Signed.
package.
Sign. కాబట్టి solve the problem, sign the package.
Let's scroll up. So one good thing about this utility is that it is giving you some description. Okay, such as this: the speed of Hyper-V logical processor 2 is being limited by system firmware. The processor has been in this reduced performance state for 71 seconds since the last report. So this information is very useful. Now you can also see that there are some error type of messages. Now it says that the network list service terminated with the following errors. So basically you can see here that there is lot of information. Now you can get the same type of information even for a remote computer. But now again the problem is the analyzing the information. So when you get such a huge information, you cannot waste your time in going through each and every message. So basically you need a utility or you need a tool which can analyze this information. So all these are kind of log information. The problem with log information is that it comes in different formats. Okay. If everyone is using the same tool, then you will get the output in the same format. But that's not true. So basically you may have to filter the output, or you may have to write a code to get the information, to get the desired information. Okay, so there are again several options. You can go through these options. And there you can specify the information. So basically you can see here that you can specify the delimiter, S for space, T for tab. Then you can also specify the date range. You can also specify the event source. So basically you can write different commands and get the required information. The next utility is rootkit revealer. So rootkits are again malicious softwares. They are malwares which may contain viruses, Trojan horses, spywares, etc. But the goal of rootkit is that they hide themselves from antivirus softwares, from rootkit scanners. Basically they will be present in the system,
hide from
but they try to
antivirus.
hide themselves
Inkoti
from the
Scanners.
antivirus
Scanners.
softwares.
Root click scan.
So that's why there's a tool called as rootkit revealer. You can just run rootkit revealer command. Rootkit revealer.
రోడ్ నీళ్ళు కుళ్ళిపోతే వస్తుంది వాసన కంపు వస్తుంది అనమాట గ్యాస్
అదే పట్టసరికి లేదు వైజస్లో ఏమైనా తాగావుగా.
Let us try to run it with administrative privileges.
అడుగుదల ప్రాబ్లం.
పళ్ళు
వాళ్ళు
ఇంకా దానివల్ల గ్యాస్ వల్ల తనడం.
అన్నీ లింకులు. వీళ్ళు ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఎప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ సెమిస్టర్
20 వచ్చింది దానికి డేటు.
వీళ్ళు ఎగ్జామ్స్ అయిపోగానే వెళ్ళిపోదాం పళ్ళు చేయించుకో.
ఏమి చేయొద్దు నాకు దాని మీద ఎలా ఉంటే అలా ఉంటుంది. అన్నీ పీకుతాడు. ఇప్పుడు ఒక్కడు ఉంచాను అంటాడు. అన్నీ పోయినాయి నీకు అప్పుడే 8 అన్నాడు, ఇప్పుడు 18 పీకుతా అంటాడు.
So it's not displaying any output, but it tries to detect the rootkits if there are any rootkits installed. But the hackers are very smart, so that's why what they are doing is they are creating the rootkits with the same name. So Microsoft has discontinued the command line utility and they use some sort of GUI which randomly changes the signature of the rootkit revealer software. Just to avoid to become the target of attackers. Okay, fine. So next is Sysmon. So which is basically system monitor. Monitors the different services and device drivers on the Windows system. As an administrator, okay.
తినేసాను.
సమోసాలు అప్పుడు చూద్దాం వెళ్ళి ఇప్పుడు ఖాళీ అయితే
ఇప్పుడు దాకా కష్టం
పైపోయాను
Okay.
మళ్ళా
Let's run Sysmon 64-bit version. So to run it, you can say Sysmon 64-i, which will install the service. Now you can see here that it has installed the services and started those services. can try for these commands. Let's say sysmon64 -s. Okay. So now you can see here that it has started monitoring the Windows event logs, Windows events, and started logging them. In security, logging and monitoring is very important. You need to install appropriate logging and monitoring tools.
Install appropriate logging and monitoring.
If you don't install appropriate logging and monitoring tools, then you will not be able to investigate. So as I have said in one of my classes, they are like CCTV footages. Log files are like CCTV footages. Okay, so they monitor each and every activity. Even in OWASP Top 10, that is Open Web Application Security Project, monitoring and logging is one of the top 10 issues. So everywhere you need to deploy appropriate logging and monitoring tools, so that whenever some incident happens, you can investigate. There are some interesting utilities. If we go to miscellaneous here, there's something called as PS password. With PS password, you can change the password of the account. There is something called as not my fault tool. It's an interesting tool. Let me try not my fault. Now note here that I am not going to execute this command, because if I say crash, then it is going to crash my system. But it's a very good tool to learn about different types of crashes, different types of hangs, and different types of leaks.
Hangs and links.
Okay, so it will exactly simulate different types of problems. Now if I select anyone and if I click on crash, it's going to crash my system and it will restart my system. So that's why I'm not going to do it.
Simulate.
Crash. Exact.
But you can see here what are the different things you can do. You can have hierarchical fault, that's the kernel mode. Then you have buffer overflow. Then you have code override. Then you have stack crash.
Different types.
Then you have stack overflow. Then you have hard-coded breakpoint. Then you have double free. These are all different types of crashes. You can see here clicking the crash button will cause the system to crash. There's a risk that corrupted memory will be returned to disk, or that work may be lost. And similarly, you can hang. So hang with IRP, hang with deadlock. So if I click on deadlock and if I click on hang, it's going to hang my system. Then similarly, there are some memory leaks if you want to simulate. Okay. So you can try this command. It's a very good tool to learn about different problems and what is causing them. There's one more interesting tool that is called as blue screen screensaver. So there is something called as blue screen of death. So now we don't get blue screen of death, but in older versions of Windows operating system such as 95, 98 XP, so it was the common problem. So whenever the system used to crash, it used to display a blue screen. But this is not the virus. Whatever tool it is, whatever tool I am showing here, it's actually the screensaver, but it actually simulates the working of blue screen of death. Now note here that some virus scanners flag the blue screensaver as a virus.
Flag the blue
So if you have antivirus installed on your system and if it flags blue screensaver as virus, then you will not be able to use it.
Antivirus will treat blue screensaver as virus.
Now one way where you can one way how you can use not my fault is that you can install
as virus.
say Windows 7 operating system on a virtual machine, download the internal tools or download the not my fault exe file and you execute there. So in that way what happens, you will not be restarting the host operating system, but instead your guest operating system will be restarted. Even if it crashes, it is not going to affect your system. Okay, so if you want to experiment with not my fault, do it on the virtual machine.
Experiment with
so I have virtual machine of Windows XP, but I am not able to run it.
Operating system. అంటే ఒక machine మీద రెండు మూడు operating system ఉంటే.
So you can see here I have these not my fault tools. If I click on run, it says that it is not Win32 application for all these things. So that's why I am not able to run it. So what I suggest is instead of Windows XP, you try on Windows 7 virtual machine.
Try on virtual machine, Windows 7 virtual machine. As a second operating system.
So we can stop here. If there are any doubts, I can take up the questions.
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
I think we can leave Gajan sir. Meet tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Catch up
Yes,
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This area.